Hey there everybody, welcome back to Ideal 3D Projects. Hey everybody, I super appreciate you showing up in the studio today. If you follow me, we'll end up going over here to kind of show you what we're doing today. Here we have the Ender 3 V3 Plus, and what we'll be understanding today about this is after you get all the calibrations and all the default stuff done with that, what we have here is we need to check our bridge settings to see what temperature we have and we need. We also have our speed that we'll be checking, and we'll be checking the retraction. These are the three settings that I would start checking on your Ender 3 V3 Plus when you first get your Ender 3 V3 Plus. This is what I do after I get done with the default calibration on the Ender 3 V3 Plus. Let's hop over to Cura, one of my favorite slicing softwares. Now, what we'll have to do is we'll have to go add a printer, and we'll go to a non-Ultimaker Cura printer. We'll hop down here, we'll go over to Creality, and what we'll have to do here is we'll have to look for the Ender 3 V3 SE because the Plus is not here, but the SE has all the parts that the Plus has, except for the bed size is going to be different. Now, before we add this, you can come up here and name this whatever you would like. Now, we're going to name it just Plus, just for good reference in the future so that we know what it is. And I've actually already created one too. So add. Now we have our Ender 3 V3 SE or Plus base default settings. Click Preferences, go over to Printers, click the printer that you just created and go to Manage Printer. Then you'll go in and change the bed size to the Plus's dimensions, and that should be 300 by 300 by 330. Now that you have that done, that should save automatically. So we'll just close out of this. We'll leave everything else the same. So again, leave everything default. We'll close out of this here. We'll close out of this screen here too. Now for this first run, what we're going to do is leave everything standard. So 0.4 millimeter, 0.2 millimeter layer height, everything else we're going to leave default and standard. So now what we'll have to do to be able to get our tower is we have to come into the marketplace and we have to install a plugin. Once we get down to the bottom, we'll have to load just a little bit more, and it should be just a few more down. Now, I already have this installed, but you'll have to install it, and it will pop up with an agreement that you'll have to read through and agree to be able to use this. Now, for this to be able to get into your extensions, you will have to restart Cura. Once you have restarted Cura, you can come up here over to extensions, and what you'll see is you'll see auto towers here. And this is where we'll go to select any tower that we need to do here. First, we'll do a temp tower. Here you have tons of different options. You have ABS, you have PLA. We'll go PLA Plus because that's what we're using. Now we have this set up to where it just auto slices. So once it loads in, we normally go to preview it to see if it is going to print the whole thing or if there's any holes or gaps. But this looks pretty clean. This looks like it will print and be pretty successful. So we'll go and save this to whatever format you or I need to save it in, and we'll clear the bed plate and we'll get all of the other tests that we need to on here so that we can just get them onto the USB in just one shot. Next, we'll set up a retraction test. Now I'll be choosing the 0.4 to 1.2 because I'm using the direct drive part of the Ender 3 V3 Plus. Now if we have a Bowden tube, we'll probably check around 8 to 10. But since we're not, we'll just do direct drive and we'll get this loaded on and we'll see how well our retraction does on this setting. The cool thing about the auto towers is that you don't have to do any of the post-processing yourself. Let's clear the build plate again. And now we'll end up doing an auto tower for speed, and this will be one of the last tests that we do. Now for the speed, it says recommended about 180 millimeters a second for quality, but we have 100 to 200 here. So we'll select that and see what kind of quality we get and what we might want to stay at for a draft and what we might want to have it at for just really great quality. So again, speed, hit OK, get this loading in, it will slice it right away. And again, what we're checking for is to see if there's any holes, any gaps, see if it's nice and clean, and see if it's going to print right away. And it looks like it. Let's get to the printers. Just looking right at this right off the bat, we can tell that the bridging did terrible on this. Now I did have this at 180 millimeter second speeds, and this one, the only change I did was that I changed the speed to 80. And all the temperatures looked amazing. And so I'll probably just stick around 215 to 220, because like literally I cannot see any difference between the two, except for the bridging or the temperature or the speed for doing it. So if you lower the speed, you'll be okay. Next, we have retraction. Now, since we're using a direct drive, again, we're only going to be around 0.4 to 1.2. And all of these look amazing again. So again, I can't tell the difference. I can't see a difference. So we're probably just gonna stay around that 1 mark. Probably like 0.9, 1, we'll stay around there. But it looks great. Now let's talk about speed. I couldn't get that much of a good quality picture here to look at the banding. I should have used a different color. I wanted to use the PLA that came with it. As you could tell, it looks like 100 millimeters a second was for really great quality. And if you just need a really low quality draft, something done really quick, it looks like that 200 mark is gonna be where you wanna be at. But you'll definitely have just a little bit of banding. If you all want a video on overhangs, we can go over that too with the Ender 3 V3 Plus. If you notice that this is the default setting, and this is just what I did for changes in my settings to be able to get a better overhang. So if you do want to see an overhang test, make sure to throw that in the comments below. We'll definitely do more tests like this in the future. We'll do bridge, we'll do speed, and we'll do retraction with some different settings. Maybe screw them up so that we can see them a little bit better. And you know, if you like any of this content, do make sure to subscribe, and we'll catch you in that next video. Peace.